Let's see what's good. Let's see. Oh, it's working. Perfect. Yeah, all right. So, it should be running live right now. Trying to make sure this is coming through. It's good. Let's see. Oh, yep. There we go. All right. So, what's up, y'all? I'm back here. It's live out in Harlem. Using this remote Wi-Fi from the cell phone coming in through the camcorder. So I'm trying to perfect my skills with it. It's a little different from my other stuff. I do a lot of live streaming for businesses and stuff like that. That's what I do with my video production company. But I'm out here trying to do something for the political soul food talks we be having out here. All right, bet. So we here. Let me see something real fast. Yeah, it's running good. Excellent connection. I see it. Now, let me just mess around here. See if I can change the orientation. It's probably better on the iPad. On the phone, you don't really see it too well. Let's come back. All right. Let me put something in the chat, see if this works. What's good, folk? All right. Oh, snap. I think I lost my live. I need to get back. How do I get back to my live? All right, so I still should be live even though I lost my screen here. Let's go to studio. I'm gonna be checking. Let's see. You know what? At this point, I should be able to just go to my live tab right here and see what's popping. All right. Time to open up the computer to see what's good, y'all. Give me a sec, because I don't even know if I'm still live or not. I'm trying to get up here and chop it up with y'all folk. All right, so this Panasonic needs to step up their game because I need to be able to flow. Let's bring out the lappy. That'll be the best way to check out what's going on, but I don't want to have to be bringing out the laptop all the time. So let's see. Let's go here. Let's find UU. I'm on UU. Let's go here. I still should be live, so let's see what's good. Oh, hold on. All right, hold on. It's gonna mess up my stream if I do it like this. Let's go back, find another. Let's go here, setting. All right. Let's see if we gotta start it over. Just trying it again. All right, let's see what's good. Connect streaming software to live, to go live. See something here. Boom. Stream setup. Oh, I'm still alive and whatnot. Oh, word. So it never cut off. Bet. For some reason. Oh, word. So it never cut off. Bet. For some reason. Now let me do this right here. All right, bet. So we live, folks, here. You're gonna hear a lot of noise in the background. I was setting up. Park was like nice and chill. Then a bunch of young kids came through right next to me going bananas. So I'm like, I'm not even trying to find another spot. So I don't know what the sound is like. So I'm gonna keep it cool right here. Keep it short. And we're gonna be back. I'm gonna do this again. But right now I'm just trying to like get used to this technology right here, and chop it up with y'all, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot to chop it up about and whatnot. So yeah, so y'all know what's good, y'all. One of the things that's popping off these days is the protests around the country. The protests dealing with the Gaza situation. You have students, teachers, staff members of universities, and just everyday citizens out here asking the American government to cease fire. And now pro-Israel American citizens are clapping back. And it's just wild right now. And the thing about all of this is the people who are pro-Palestinian are looking at the Democrats like, listen, this is happening on your watch, you should be stopping this. And this isn't an election year, so it is safe to say that a lot of people are not going to want to vote for the Democratic Party for that reason. And at the same time, Republicans who overwhelmingly support Israel's action, many of whom feel that Israel needs to go further and perhaps be more aggressive with the bombing and the military execution. Those folk are licking their chops at getting in office. So that's the situation. So people who, see Biden as a Zionist or any other Democrat, even AOC. The AOC is getting thrown under the bus. Obama, he's not even in office yet, but they throwing him under the bus. And so what's going to happen is that they're going to end up with a party who is looking to run Palestinians and the protesters under the bus. So, what do? Yeah, I don't even know if y'all can hear me, because I can't even hear myself right now, because these kids, I guess kids are being kids right now. It is insane, man. But I'm gonna continue in faith that y'all can hear me. And when I hear this video back, if it's too noisy, then I'm gonna do it over. Most likely I'm doing it over anyway. So, I think the key thing is to recognize that the situation in Gaza has not occurred overnight. It should be safe to say a lot of people know that by now. However, I don't think enough people understand how America's support for Israel is rooted in our electoral politics just as much as anything else. It's a mistake to think that the status quo is purely the result of a cabal, a few powerful or sinister individuals behind the scenes pulling all the strings. When we had our shot, at least my generation had our shot to support someone who was willing to press Israel to go back to the 1967 lines. Ain't nobody show up at the midterms. And I'm saying this over and over again because we got to do some introspective analysis, thinking about how we all fit into this. I think Obama made this analogy that, American politics, I think he was referring to American politics or the presidency. Yeah, American politics is like a ship, big ship. And the most that a president can do is steer it a few degrees away. I believe that was Obama's analogy. I'm gonna check, but it's a great one. Because people look for revolutionary action, and that only happens when you have overwhelming support of the Congress. If the president has overwhelming support from Congress, then you're gonna have a radical or reactionary presidency. Policies left and right just being thrown out or inserted in. And only a few presidents, very, very few, I think you can count them on one hand. We don't even need all 5 fingers, perhaps, had such a reality. FDR, LBJ, and Nixon. I would actually leave Nixon out. I would just go to Reagan. Now, we could put Nixon in terms of having achieved an electoral slaughter of his political opponent. But in terms of having a lot of congressional support, up and down the ballot, he didn't really have that much. That's why he got him. Yeah, that's why he had to get out of office. So, all I have to say is, man, we gotta have a better understanding of politics. And this is not an argument against protesting or anything like that. So, just in case that's creeping in anyone's mind, pause. I'm saying that's, that what we are seeing is also the result of lack of voting participation. That's it. What y'all think about that? Yeah. So that's where we are. That's where we are right now. That's where we are. It's getting a little dark out here. I mean, it's still good, but for this kind of camera, I'm using a camcorder. The camcorders, they don't function well in low light. Low light is hitting. I do have an on-camera LED. Could probably put that up there, but we'll see. Right now, this is, we're just having a casual talk. But yeah, this is the deal, y'all. Like, we gotta get into it. We gotta hit the polls if we want to make some change. It's adding up. It's adding up. And conservatives and Republicans are, they're very pissed off at the mere fact that they're going through a back and forth. I mean, they were on they had everything in cruise control after the civil rights movement. When the civil rights movement ended, they wanted revenge, and they were getting that. It was a conservative revolution, man. And I was telling people, I was online, which I need to talk about a little bit. I might come back tonight, talk a little bit about that. But yeah, I was telling people, like, it's like somebody was saying to me, what did Democrats do in like the past 60 years and all that. And I'm saying to myself, okay, yo, it's loud, bro. Can y'all hear that? Or is it just me? It's real. Hold on a second. All right, so in the past 60 years, yeah, that would have been like 1964, and so I usually say I start from like 68 to 2008. I like to take that chunk of change because what people are saying is like all this time what have Democrats done for African American community, and I'm like, yo, hold on. Let me make sure this mic is still running. Yeah. So, yo, you got to realize this. The Republicans won 7 out of 10 presidencies. I say these facts all the time until they become commonplace. Between 68 and 2008. 7 out of 10 presidencies. So when people want to ask this question, what have Democrats done lately? It's almost like, what has the Republican Party done lately? Like, bro, they were owning electoral politics. They were owning it, and it's like the hypocrisy of the question. The question itself is fallacious, in my opinion, because it suffers from a false assumption that Democrats had enough political power to do something extraordinary in the first place for African Americans. And I'm not saying Democrats haven't done anything, but we got to start off with this first. You get what I'm saying? In other words, if somebody's been in charge 7 out of 10 times, then the onus is almost on the person who's been in charge. Like, you're accountable for those years. Things suddenly began to change more robustly when Obama got in. And, I get it. A lot of people who are asking this question are just now getting into politics or, are now of age to even think about things. But not all of them. I mean, you have a lot of people like my age who have fell for this, who fall or still falling for it. And they need help to get up. But they are, they're sunken. They're in a sunken place. when it comes to political history. Wow, bro. Like, I know y'all gotta hear this. It's not just me. It's wild. Girls, I don't know if they play fighting or real fighting, and they're cheering each other on. Sad. But anyway, that's where we at. So I'm going to continue to have these discussions on such matters, such details that I think are relevant. You know, because this, you know, I get it. I've been in a certain place, but a lot of people are in a situation where, in their lives, where, you know, they are concerned, regardless of where they are in the political spectrum, on the left or the right, center, or if they even choose or think they are not political at all. You know, we got Jeep Films in the house. What's good, bro? Yeah, so, and I get it. Like, a lot of people are like saying, you know, they're trying to get involved now, and it's, you know, you can only start from where you are. It's good to see you, bro. You can only start from where you are, and I get that. But I'm just, you know, I just want to provide some insights. I want to provide a few tools for analysis: telescope, microscope, you know what I'm saying, EKG machine, you know, something so that we can start seeing the things that are not visible to our naked eye when we think and talk about politics. So as I was saying, you know, so when I'm approaching, and I guess I'll go into the situation I was in earlier. So as I was in this conversation with this dude on Instagram, and he's hitting hard. Like, yo, what did the Democratic Party do for you past 60 years? And like I said, you know, or I'm gonna frame it even tighter the way he did. You know, what did they do solely for black people, right? So that makes it even tighter. And like I said, that question is flawed. It's fallacious. The reason why is because it's lacking, the assumption is lacking. When you go back 60 years ago, after the Civil Rights Movement, 60 years ago, it took us 1964, the president right after that was Nixon. And I said, between Nixon and Obama, the Republican Party has won 7 presidencies out of 10. Let me say it again. The Republican Party won 7 presidencies out of 10. I'm gonna say it one more time. The Republican Party won 7 presidencies. And I imagine these are a championship. They got 7 rings out of 10. And then so people who want to front on the Democratic Party, and I'm not saying they are flawless, but just think about this question. You want to ask what a party has done when the party you're either stumping for or thinking is better has won 7 out of 10 presidencies. So who do you think own the responsibility to cough up a record of what they have done for black people? Like, I'm just saying, again, I ain't even trying to put y'all on to the Democratic Party. But if we want to have a discussion about certain facts, we can do it objectively, right? At least I try to. I ain't perfect. So I'm just like, listen, your question is flawed, and so it looks like I'm trying to like hide behind the question. But I mean, am I wrong for looking at the history of this situation? Am I wrong for looking at the history of the situation? Like, if somebody asks me, you know, what I should have done when I didn't even have the power to do anything to the extent that they're asking me for, I need to bring that up. You know, it's like somebody saying, I guess I can put it this way, somebody got $1 million in a bank, and somebody else got $300,000 in the bank, and people are arguing about which one of us, you know, could do more. And I guess, you know, with somebody with $300,000, you can do a great deal. But they're not asking about what the person with $1 million has done. You get what I'm trying to say? It's like, obviously you don't know nobody's pockets, but I mean, just imagine that that's like $1 million in profit, right? After all expenses, and I got 300,000 after all expenses, and like, I'm like, yo, I'm doing the best I can, but I don't have the mill right here, right? I don't have the extra million. So the Republican Party had the extra mill, they had the extra time, they had, come on, they won 7 out of 10 presidencies. Like, come on, bro. 7 out of 10 presidencies? That's ridiculous. If they were 2 basketball teams, and that was the record, you would clearly say that the Republican Party has dominated the league if they won 7 championships out of 10. So my question is like, yo, so why aren't we talking about the team that won 7 out of 10 if we want to go back in the past? Like, they slaughtered the Democrats. So that means wherever the Democrats try to make a shot, odds are they knocked it out. They smacked it like Patrick Warren or Shaq would do when you try to come down the baseline or something. You know what I mean? Like, that's what's happening. That's what happened. And again, this is not an excuse for the Democratic Party. We're going to get to that. But this is how we got to understand, because now it puts the conversation in the right perspective. It helps us to identify when somebody is trying to give us the okie doke, or when people are just misinformed. And that's where we are. So I tell a lot of black supporters who want to stump for Trump or the Republican Party, like, that's not your best talking point. Well, actually, it is the best talking point because people don't fact check them. But that's not your best approach or your most truthful approach, because it's going to be shattered by historical facts. Nah, it ain't wrong to be independent. Like, what you honestly refer to yourself doesn't really matter, because, like, check it. Like, if you refer to yourself as an independent, you know, you're basically making a statement, you know, about where you stand in reference to the political brands. And that's a very important statement to make, whatever it is. But it's how you vote. It's the things that you do that makes the difference. For example, here's how it doesn't matter. We all know that, most people know that the Democratic Party, at some point in history, supported slavery. Now, that's why a lot of people mistakenly say that the Democratic Party, referring to the Democratic Party today, is a part of slavery. They're making a mistake by focusing on the name only. When the Democratic Party was supporting slavery, they were Republican states. It's looking at the Republican states, it's looking at the ideology, because now which party or brand do the Southern states take on now? They take on the Republican Party. It's the same states. Mississippi, when it was a Democratic state, was loving and hugging that Confederate flag. And guess what? Mississippi right now is a Republican state, and guess what it's doing? Hugging and loving that Confederate flag. Their governors have been pretty much proclaiming April, I believe, as Confederate Heritage Month. So that name, Democrat or Republican, we gotta look past that, and most of us do. I mean, that's why black people switch. Black people were a part of the Republican Party when the Republican Party represented the Union states, the states against slavery. Then the slave states switched up. The Jim Crow states switched up and said, yo, we Republicans. And African Americans were like, all right, if y'all the Republican Party too, then we out. Peace, deuces. We Democrats. Like, they soared through that. That's why one of the most crazy insults to black people is to call us sheep, or people who just follow the crowd or don't know anything about politics. We the ones that made the switch. Black people, we are the North Star of politics. We are the compass of politics. If you want to know, I believe, what political party to watch out for, not necessarily join, watch out for who the majority of black people ain't feeling. If the majority of us ain't feeling a particular party, bro, why? Because we have the most horrible relationship with America. So we know white America inside and out. We literally built this country inside and out. So we know what's good. We know we have that intimate relationship coming through the Middle Passage, dealing with slavery, dealing with Jim Crow and all that. We know our experiences in northern and western and midwestern and southern states, southwestern states, in the Caribbean. Like, we know it all too well. The different shades of oppression, resistance, and player haterism. We know that too well, so we know where the front is. Let me look at my boy saying here. I'm not Republican either. That's dope. I'm independent. That's all dope. I vote Democrat each and every time, but I regret voting for Biden. Bro, I'm gonna tell you right now. I mean, I'm respecting what you feel, but like, given the alternative, I mean, I don't know the specific reasons why you regret voting for Biden. I understand that, but for me, the political calculus for me says that you voted against someone who represents the worst interests, who represent the worst intentions for black people. See, when people expect amazing things to happen and only to see horrible things to happen, it means to me, and this is for all of us, that we're not really recognizing how crazy the situation we are in and have been in. And so it's hard for us to recognize progress. Because, I mean, we deserve, we deserve a political, is it JG or JG Wentworth? Like, we deserve, like, reparations from a political JG Wentworth company or nation. Like, we want our money and we want it now. And whenever we vote, even if it's the less of the two evils, which is what you're supposed to do in life, if you're presenting all evils, it's like playing, I don't know if I ever played cards before, like, very rarely do you get the perfect hand. So you're gonna play the hand the best way you can. You gotta play that hand, right? And so we understand that playing a hand is generational. You gotta play with what you got. That's the reality. This is real life, real world-ish, bro. Like, and if you're black or brown, especially black, like, the hand is crazy. Which is why we understand that black people have done the most amazing, because we turn ish around, but we still got a long way to go. So Ukraine, man, like, we gotta understand that defending Ukraine is an extension of pushing back against Russia, which is an extension of pushing back against Republicans, which is an extension of pushing back against structural and systemic racism. There is a wave of right-wing activism happening around the world. So now we do, so a whole nother conversation is that the country spends too much on war. However, we gotta understand that where that comes from. And that comes from conservatism and racism. We gotta understand that. Like, yo, if we wanna play, we got the right to vote. It's time to play. We're in the NBA now. We're in the big leagues now. We're in the big leagues. Like, it's not even, you gotta think about how pragmatic even white folks are. For all the hate that white folks have towards Arabs and Islam, I was reading about how Saudi Arabia arrested a girl for 11 years because of how she dressed. And she wasn't even wearing no bikini or nothing like that, bro. Like, she didn't cover her head. United States is buddy-buddy with Saudi Arabia because it knows it has to do what it wants to do, even though they don't want to rock with its religion and everything else. It's doing it for understanding its ultimate goal. It's politics. It's politics. And Russia is not bad. Russia is very racist and bigoted, if I can say it like that. So now, is every person in Russia like that? No, but its leadership is. See, well, in my opinion, from the facts that I know, there are a lot of Russians who side with the African American view of the world, the black view of the world, and they ain't rocking with Putin. But Putin is a certain person that will kill anybody who speaks back and say something. So he silenced them. And Putin don't give a damn about black and brown folk. Ex-KGB, he wants to make Russia great again. He wants to go back to the Soviet Union. He had the most disrespect for black and brown president and black and brown folk. He's a totalitarian. He's not a Democrat. Now, you know what's crazy? Conservatives used to hate Russia or communism. Why do they like him? Why do they like Russia now? Why do they like Russia now? Because the leadership is on the same ish that they're on. Some right-wing totalitarian government. Ain't that weird that all those Republicans who were, pushing, what they call McCarthyism, the Red Scare and all that stuff, now they suddenly down with Putin because Putin is down with everything that Trump stands for. Putin ain't revealing listen, Putin is playing mind games to, Putin don't care. First of all, Putin don't give a damn about no Jesus Christ. All right. And if we needed Putin to reveal that Jesus Christ, was black, and if that's what it takes for us to say that somebody is down for us, yo, man, come on, bro. Like, come on. And the question is he, do you know that the Russian media had even stated, like, Russian state media had even stated in their own country that they were basically sending out messages to black folks to stir us up so that we can get conservatives in, to use our own history against us to trick us up, to use our own history, our own trauma against us to get white nationalists in office. Like they told us that, but they told the world that. Putin, even when Putin was asked, have you been trying to manipulate the elections for Trump? He said yes. Yo, bro. All right, so, all right. Listen, Biden is racially illiterate. But you know what it is? Biden, yo, it's gotten crazy over here, bro. Biden ain't perfect. If I can handpick and install someone else in the presidency, I would do that. Hold on a second. Excuse me. Can y'all watch out for this one? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Y'all be safe out there, man. Don't be, all right? Yeah, so yo, like, it ain't, you know, you ever heard the phrase that well, I don't want to use this phrase. I'm gonna say it anyway so I can make my point though. Like, we don't choose our parents. We do choose our presidents, but the issue with politics is a little different. Like, we don't choose our presidents solely because there are a lot of other people at work. And that's the tricky part with democracy. So, and there are messed up situations that we have to contend with, right? There are realities that exist. There are things that have been going on in this world before we all were born. And so we have to work within that context so we don't get individually exactly who we want. And so, again, I can do my whole litany of what I don't like about Biden or certain Democrats. And I gotta say certain Democrats because not every Democrat is on the same ish. It's just that the majority of Democrats are showing or creating an environment where it's possible for us to work within. That's exactly how America got its power. It worked within the European modern system of international politics to get where it's at. And if we don't understand that level of sophistication of mingling, and I'm not trying to say, when I say mingle, I'm not trying to say sell your soul, not like that, but we have to understand the realities that we're in and the kind of allies that we have to make. Because sometimes our allies is not our best friend. It's just going to be someone whose enemy is my enemy as well. If your worst enemy is my worst enemy, even though we got beef, bro, right now it's about survival because my worst enemy is about to come for me and your worst enemy is about to come for you, and that's the same person. So let's just do what we got to do and then hopefully discuss peacefully how we can share the spoils, all right? So that's kind of what happened. Like, white supremacists, white nationals, the neo-Nazis, they have their differences, but they say, yo, like even other ethnic Europeans, you know, you have those who came from Britain, then you had those who came from Ireland, you had those who came from Germany, you had those who came from Italy. There was beef between them. There were beef between them, but they all say, you know what, we're gonna shake hands on this whiteness thing and do what we gotta do, because if we don't, Black Americans gonna raise up. So are we all agree? Are we all gonna join in as white? And that's what happened over time, as we can see how even Jews have become white, right? So, and that's how they play international politics at even a much more sophisticated level, and that's why they have more resources. This is something that Dr. Martin Luther King was trying to put us on, right? No group. I remember a cop told me, why don't black people be more like the Jews or something like that, right? And I'm like, oh, wow, that's interesting. So I said to him, well, okay, what do you mean be more like the Jews? Because we're talking about a group of people, and I'm not speaking negatively of them, who had the backing of the United States to get what they consider their homeland, and they get billions of dollars a year. And if anybody front on them, somebody's coming after them. Like, when has the American government really done that for us, for Black Americans, and will raise up billions of dollars a year for us, right? So what my point is that combination of whiteness, you know, of people of different ethnicities joining in a club is something that we have to be mindful of, because when we're not, then we keep sabotaging ourselves. You know what I'm saying? So that's my main kind of point there on that. So now Biden says what he said. He thought he was saying some ish, because I bet you he probably heard that and got comfortable. You can't say that, right? We don't want certain people saying the N-word. That's true, but guess what? He kind of right though. Like bro, he's probably scratching his head. Like, yo, hold up. How you gonna vote for a man? Forget me, I'm white. I'm whiter than the eggshell. Okay, I get that. But how you gonna vote for a dude who is, he's like, he got delegates who are self-assertive, publicly white nationalists. So so they got him as all Trump is doing is like, yo, bro, and this was Biden ain't getting it like that. I mean, that's fine, because we have to know this history. I talked about the Southern strategy on my Political Soul Food podcast, IG page, just very briefly. And I was saying how the Southern strategy, it was a campaigning technique that Nixon discovered. And he realized so there's a reason why Republicans have won 7 out of 10 presidencies. They use something called a Southern strategy, and they're still using it. Trump is bringing it back even more so, which is why he's likely to win again. So basically, you have to just deal with the real fears and the real intentions of Southern whites, which has been prejudice, discrimination, and racism, fascism. If you bring these things out, and if you focus on it and you promise to fight for that, even if you don't get it all through, you will get the white vote. That's why no Democratic president since Nixon has ever won the white vote. Because the Democratic president, no, they can't go that far. They don't, even if they're racist, they can't come out like that. They can't even suggest it. But Republicans, they suggest that and they win the white vote every time. Look it up. Fact check me. Let me know that I'm wrong. I can be like, oh, wow, my bad. There was a Democratic president since Nixon that has won. Do that. And then you would see they will always win the majority of the white vote, which was enough at the time because black people weren't even voting that much. You know, our voting percentage was I believe less than 20%, less than 10% in some places, right? Because we needed a Voting Rights Act. We needed an act to force people to allow us to carry out the 14th, the 15th Amendment. And we needed Civil Rights Act to protect us, you know, to enforce the 15th Amendment. The 14th Amendment, right? So the 14th Amendment, Civil Rights Act helps protect that, and then our 15th Amendment, the right to vote, you know, we needed a Voting Rights Act, like almost 100 years later. But anyway, so yeah, man, I'm gonna digress on that one. But like, hold the vote. That right there for me, just means that your interests don't count anymore. Either you got stock in or you don't. Hold the vote means it's going back to the status quo. Hold the vote I don't see holding the vote helping us out, because it just means that, oh, don't worry about what they want. They out the game. They're just going to shift. They're going to pivot. Republicans want us to hold a vote. Trump even said, I thank black people who didn't vote or they voted for me. So holding the vote just helped white supremacists. And that's on their word too. So like, I don't know. If holding the vote, like, yo, bro, don't you know that something that was passed in 1965, the Voting Rights Act, has been gutted by Republicans in 2013 under Obama? They are attacking it. Why? If holding the vote really mattered to them, why would they freaking gut the Voting Rights Act? The point is that they don't want us to vote at all. Yo, they spend more money stopping people from voting than like, they spend just as much money they spend like on wars, bro. Like $1 billion. Like, yo, your vote is high priority, bro. You know how many people get around a table and analyze me, you, and others, and they try to figure out what can we do to get them. Well, the good old days, they just forced us not to vote, and then when they had to let us vote, they created tests, and then when we got rid of all of that with the Voting Rights Act, the new way was, how do we complicate matters so much that they get tired, they don't want to vote? Make them forget the whole point of voting in the first place. Make them forget, because see, we so far removed from our past, and our past is not our memory, and that's our problem. Our memory of history is non-existent. We have knowledge of it, but see, when you remember something, it's trauma. And that's why a lot of culture, you know, a lot of traditions spend a lot of time they do rituals and they do things to get their youth to to remember something. Not just to know it like textbook, but to remember it and feel it in their bones. So we're not taught about slavery as like, maybe, Jews may teach their youth about the Holocaust. We don't want to talk about slavery anymore. Oh, so much talk about slavery. Like, huh? Like, we need to remember that, because that's what it's all about. Because you got people who trying to take us back there and stand in our face. Make America great again. Like, that's kind of time I'm on with that. But yeah, man. Let me see. Where we at with this? All right, so it's getting kind of dark out here. I can't throw on a light. Is it grainy out there? I'm looking at it on my computer. My boy got me talking, running my mouth, because I'm getting hype about this, all in love and everything. But like, we concerned. I mean, the very things my boy's talking about, it's a representation of being concerned. But yeah, I might even just try to like light it up a little bit just to see how it is. Because this whole thing is just for like a little quick practice. I hope I was recording all this. Let's see, y'all. Nah, I wasn't even recording. That's crazy. I want to try something. I want to throw on this light and see what we got here. All right, let's see. All right, so let's do this right here. All right, we're gonna throw this on. We got 47. Yo, what's good? Yeah, man. So we got some light up in here right now. Still a little grainy, but I can rock with it. Yeah, so I mean, I think that's it for the political talk right now. But yeah, I guess I'll be back talking some more stuff and trying to put some more things in perspective. At least from my perspective, I'm out here trying to learn more myself. And each of us got to do what each of us got to do according to our hearts and minds, and how we see the world. Can't take that away from nobody. But I'm willing to be challenged, and I guess I'm willing to challenge as well, to see, to have a better understanding about what's going on with politics and stuff like that. So, on that note, y'all, I think I'm gonna shut down a little bit and get back into it another day. Appreciate my boy DG Films popping up out here, always sparking more insight and reflection. All right, y'all, so y'all take it easy. All right, we're gonna break this down right now. So this camera, on another note, it's not bad. It's doing its thing out here on these streets. So we're gonna keep rocking with it, doing some fireside chats out and about in Harlem and whatnot. All right, peace.